Welcome to We Care a Lot. I'm half the podcast, Mel, and my other half, Sam, will be on Friday. It's a week of solo episodes this week, so we're going to just catch up on our lives and individually just tell you how we're doing. I'm sure Sam's going to have a lot to say about her trip to Europe. She went to Europe with a bunch of her friends. So tune in for that episode. It'll be on Friday. I'm sure she has so much to say. She's been a little bit under the weather. So when we're recording this, she's probably like still gearing up her voice, getting it back. She did get sick on her trip, so she'll talk about that. I should just stop talking about her because she's going to definitely update you guys. But yeah, when you're watching this, it's probably been like 3 weeks since we've seen each other. Not me and you, because, we just saw each other last week. But yeah, it's been like three weeks since I've seen Sam because she's been gone. And also just life has been getting really busy lately. And we've been kind of like pre-recording things just to be like prepared and stuff. So I'm really excited to see her. And I'm really excited to listen to the episode because I'll probably listen to it when you guys listen to it, since we're both editing our own episodes this week. But yeah, okay, let's get into like updates. What's going on? So as you guys probably remember, I got a new dog. So I have Harley already, right? And then I got Frankie. She's like gonna be 6 months soon. I think this is like our second month with her. Honestly, life has been a blur, let me tell you. I feel like I always like heard people being kind of like what I thought was a little bit dramatic of like, yeah, I have a puppy, I have to like go home and like I have to go up the puppy, I have to go be with the puppy. But like I understand. And I feel like maybe it's just because I wasn't there for like the beginning stages of Harley, but I felt like it was never that intense. And then like when Frankie came into our life, I just feel like it just like uprooted our entire our whole like existence. And it's just been kind of crazy. So, but she's good. She's going to get spayed soon. And I'm really sad about it. I think I just get really scared of like complications or things like that. And I already know nothing's going to happen. She's very healthy. And yeah, but it's still just like surgery is scary, But yeah, she's good. Her and Harley have been getting along pretty well. I feel like for the most part it was a big like adjustment for Harley. I think she's still adjusting, to be honest. For any of my dog parents out there with reactive dogs, the situation. It's a rough one, but yeah, we're getting there. I think we're gonna send them back. Well, we're sending Harley back to training with our trainer. Yeah, we're gonna send Harley with her and she's gonna help them like bond more, and it'll be good. It'll be good for them. Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of interesting to see Harley now play. I think one of my favorite parts is just watching Harley play with Frankie, because I think Harley has always been like such an only child. Even like when she was a puppy, like she didn't really like play with dogs, if that makes sense. Like I think I only saw that once in like her lifetime where she played with my friend Jen's puppy at the time. But like even then, I think she didn't know what to do with herself. And now I can just like really see her kind of like rough it out and like play fight with Frankie. And it's just really sweet to see, because it's like she never got to do that with her siblings. Because if you don't know the story of Harley, I rescued her from Tijuana. Like she was probably like a couple weeks old, to be honest. She was so small. I freaked out and I didn't think I could like keep a dog. Also, sorry if you can hear any like background noises. My neighbors are doing like some renovations. But I never thought that like I could keep her, because I was just like so stressed, and it was just like a very like in the moment decision, which is so terrible of me. But thankfully Logan took her in, and this is before me and Logan were together. We were just like friends that we like knew of each other. She took her in, and then when we started dating, it was kind of like fate brought me back to Harley and Logan. So yeah, anyway, but she was kind of like the runt of the litter, and also just like she was really young when she was taken from her mom. So I don't know, it's just kind of like I feel like it's like healing her inner child a little bit to like have Frankie around, and it's been really cool. Very overwhelming some days, but I think it's mostly worth it. I feel like I've talked to other like dog parents who've like put a second dog into their lives, and they're like, oh my god, it was like such a awful time for a bit, and then it gets worth it. And I'm waiting for the worth it part. I mean, it is most days, but it's sometimes just really overwhelming. But it's really helpful that like now I work from home most of the time, and so does Logan. I think like today, like we literally like did nothing. We just had like the most slow morning, and it's Friday. I just feel like it's such a cute and fun like life we're living these days. I'm so grateful. And that's mostly just because like I got a new job, and I don't know, life's been really good. I feel like I'm not like drowning in financial debt so much anymore, which is great. But also just like I'm getting back into the marketing world, which is really cool. I really thought I was over it. And I think it's just because I was over like social media marketing. I like a more like robust and overall perspective of brand marketing. So yeah, with this new job, I get to do a lot of fun stuff with just like brand work. And yeah, I don't know, it's been really cool. It's still fairly new, so like I don't have like a lot of updates, but I get to work from home, period. And I'm working with some brands that I feel very like full circle for me in a way. Like when I started like thinking about a career in marketing when I was like in college, I feel like some of these brands were a part of like my like story then, and so it's cool to like talk through them now and like be a part of them and help them, you know, like launch certain things or just produce certain ideas, and it's really fun. So I'm really excited about that. So if I feel like I'm constantly having like this reflection of time of like being like, you know how you always hear people say like it'll work out, and like I don't feel like I ever believed that, or like I did deep down, but like human me in the moment would like really be bogged down by all of like the pressure. But like it really does all work out in the end. And even now, like I think about, well, if these things went away, like then what? And I'm like, you know what? I don't know, but it's gonna work out because it has so far, you know? So that's kind of where I'm at. I feel really expansive and have like this very fun perspective on the future versus feeling super anxious or worried about it at the moment. I've been having like influxes of like these random like depressive episodes that come in, but most of the time we're doing good. We're fucking good, you know? But yeah, that's another life update. What else has been going on? There's a lot of really cool advances that are happening in Logan's career, which is like, I'm just so excited to be like witnessing her like success and just how she's building herself up in her career. If you guys don't follow her on TikTok, you should. She's incredible. She has an incredible eye for like the most beautiful homes in LA. I think her TikTok is just at Logan Sherrill, if I'm not mistaken. I'll put it in the description, but she posts homes I think weekly, and she's been getting really like cool, what is the word, like just a good push. She's been having a lot of like views and success and like comments. Like she has a lot of engagement on her page, so it's just really awesome. But also she just is really thriving in her new job, and it's really exciting to see. And I don't know, I just love being able to witness her life. Like it's really, really magical. I feel like we've come a long way, and we just had like a conversation about that recently, that like we met when we were probably like 19. I was 19, she was probably 20. We didn't know like too much of each other, but like we met when we were that age, and then we got together when I was 21, and she was also 21 still. Yes, she was 21 still. So we were both 21. And it's just crazy to see how far we've come. She's 28 and I'm 27 now, and like it's crazy. We were babies, you know what I mean? And it's so crazy to think how life has like unfolded for us, and how we are now just these adult women thinking about have bought a house, thinking about babies. Like it's crazy. It's a crazy concept to me sometimes. Like, not to say that I'm like stuck in my 21-year-old body or anything, but I just like I like zoom out and I'm like, holy shit, things have really transpired. And it's really crazy. But anyway, on a more like fun reflection, I guess that was a really fun reflection, but on another fun reflection, it's fully fall now, guys. Like it's a bit warm outside, but it's like the winds are nice and cool and like breezy, and like, I don't know, it's still pretty warm. I'm not gonna lie. but it's nice. Like, you can feel the changing of the season, and right now it feels really good. I know that there's going to get a point where I'm not excited for like the time change, because that makes me really depressed with like how dark it gets really, really early. But for now, like, the cozy vibes are really happening, and I'm having such a nice like transition into this season. I feel like sometimes I'm not ready to let go of summer, and I think this year I really was. Not on like a bye, but like a I'm ready for this, you know? I don't know. But I've been reflecting on summer. Like, we talked about we had done like a summer bucket list, and you know what? We didn't really get through most of it, but it's nice to have things that like we can look forward to doing. Also, this entire summer was really like eaten up by doing our backyard project, so I blame that for not getting through my list. But now we're gonna make an autumn one, so stay tuned for that. And yes, if you're asking, I've already had a PSL. I don't care. You know what? They're fucking delicious. We talked about this last year. I do not care. They're so good. So if you are a hater, that's on you. That's on you. Enjoy. Live a little. Other than PSLs, other things I'm looking forward to in this fall season is I got tickets to Wicked, and like, you guys don't understand how excited I am to see this film. Like, I think I'm gonna like bawl my eyes out. Like, I'm not even joking. I think I'm gonna be like one of those people sobbing really bad in the theater. Listen, I've only seen the musical once in person. I know. And I'm obsessed. I was obsessed, so obsessed. I'm not even joking, like so obsessed. I feel like musical theater wasn't like a readily available thing for me growing up, like to experience or know of, you know what I mean? And so I feel like high key, I probably would have been like a musical theater kid. If you're asking if I can sing, no, I can't. But I at least would have been like obsessed, you know what I mean? I just like I love the play. I love the musical. It's so good. It's so good. So I'm really excited to see it. I think that Ariana Grande is going to do such an incredible job. Cynthia, just perfect for the role. Yeah, I don't know, man. I think that this film might like change my life. I'm not even kidding. I'm so obsessed with it. I am watching it. I like got the early access tickets. I know. So cool. I'm gonna watch it on the 20th, which is like a Wednesday. I got really good seats, recliner seats. I'm thinking if I should get like the popcorn like buckets from AMC. Also, again, yeah, if you guys like don't have AMC sub memberships, go get yours like right now. I'm about to like hashtag sponsored, but it's not. I am obsessed. It's $25 a month, I think, and you get to watch 3 movies a week. Hello? Like, that's like one ticket for a movie. I mean, here in LA it's like $20 to see a movie. So why not even just be a subs member? So that's one thing I'm really excited about. I'm actually going to watch a movie today. Guess which one it is? You probably won't. It's called We Live in Time. It's the one with Florence Pugh and Andrew Garfield. I already know that like I'm gonna sob. I'm gonna sob. It's like one of those like, you know, just complete heartbreak kind of movies. So I'm really excited for that tonight. I don't want to miss it. I've been really looking forward to it. If you guys don't have Letterboxd or don't follow me on Letterboxd, please do, because like I love movies, and if you're ever like looking for a recommendation or like want to know if something's good to watch, like you've been wanting to watch it, you don't have a subs membership even though you should, and you want to see if you should watch it, follow me. And I'm not very like, I need to be more active on there because I go to movies like every week and I just forget to like put my little tidbits on there, you know what I mean? But things that I've seen like lately that I think you should watch, you have to watch Blink Twice. Like, you have to. I will say, trigger warning, extreme visuals of sexual violence and sexual harassment and sexual trauma. Like, it is a lot, but if you can stomach the movie, it's just it's like so good. It's such a masterpiece. And I feel like I I loved Zoe Kravitz before, and I think it only made me love her more that this like came out of her brain. And Channing Tatum did an amazing job of being like this sick villain. Like, it is incredible. And I mean, not to like conspirize, is that a word? Not to be like a conspiracy theorist. Of course I am, though. There's like a lot of correlation with like the P. Diddy stuff. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And like, it's like a Jeffrey Epstein, P. Diddy collab vibe in a movie, dramatized movie. It's kind of crazy to think that she was like interviewed for it, and she was like, yeah, they kind of like asked her how she came up with the concept or whatever, and she was kind of like saying that it was based on experience. I'm assuming borrowed experiences, because I do not believe that her dad would ever let her be in those circumstances, knowing the kind of man that he is, the man that P. Diddy is. But yeah, crazy. Watch that one. I also saw The Substance. Oh, that one is freaking hard to kind of stomach most of the time. I think like it was such a good film. I loved it so much. I just feel like it had me on the edge of my seat wanting this movie to end so bad, because it was just so gruesome to see. I will say, if you get queasy with like needles and things like that, the film, like the entire beginning half, I feel like has nothing but like body parts, like a lot of things going on, a lot. So if you can't stomach something that's like kind of gory, I wouldn't watch it. But oh man, it's like a thing you need to say that you saw. You know what I mean? It's like one of those. And Demi Moore, just phenomenal job. Margaret Qualley, phenomenal job. I love them so much. What else have I seen? I did go see The Joker. You guys, I don't know. Maybe I gotta watch it again. If someone liked it and was really like upset that I don't like it right now, I'm sorry. I was really excited. I was really excited for Lady Gaga. To be fair, she did an incredible job, like singing and performing and like being this character. However, hot take, maybe not hot take, I feel like the Joker storyline is just so, the Joker specifically, and Harley Quinn, well, I guess both of them as individuals and them and their relationship, I find it to be a very specific one. I feel like this version portrayed him in more of a pathetic kind of way, and portrayed Harley Quinn as like the manipulator, the person who is the mastermind kind of thing. And not to say that she isn't smart, but I think in most cases, like in the cartoon or in other versions of the Joker, she's more of like, I don't know, she's more like submissive and like completely and utterly in love and like kind of just like falling over him, you know what I mean? And that was not the case for this film, which I kind of enjoyed the piece of like the switch up, but it was almost like, I feel like it didn't showcase then like what Harley Quinn could have been, you know what I mean? I don't know, it's hard to tell. I think Joaquin Phoenix does a great job as an actor, period, but like, I don't know. I don't think it was for me. Yeah, Wild. Speaking of, Wild Robot, the new cartoon from DreamWorks. That one is a must-see as well. Like, had me sobbing. So yeah, the story is just like about this robot who becomes a mother, basically. And she's like obviously not programmed to be a mom, not programmed to take care and like nurture this bird, but she does it. And I think it's just kind of like, this movie was like for the adults, the adult women in specific, or like adult parents or adult people who want to be parents but are scared too. And like, it's like the telltale of people not, you know, when people say like no one's ever prepared, no one's ever ready to be a parent, you just have to like, you just do it because it's what you have to do. It was very much that trope. And I think like if you like cartoons, and especially cartoons that have like a deeper rooted meaning or like have real substance to them, which arguably I think almost all cartoons have that, but some people aren't cartoon people and they think that they're silly. But I really enjoyed it, and I think you should watch it as well. Needless to say, guys, I've had a lot of time on my hands to watch movies. So with that said, I feel like really indulging in like films right now has really brought back my interest in maybe going to acting classes again, not only because like financially I could probably afford them now again, because schooling's expensive no matter what kind of schooling you do, but I'm really interested in either going back to my acting classes. I feel like that was a really big moment that really propelled me into some type of like really interesting like growth period for me, as a person, as like an individual, as like a growing woman. I think it built a lot of confidence, and it also just like really challenged me in a way that I haven't been challenged in a long time. It had like a similar structure for me on a weekly basis that like college did, or just like school in general did, where like you had homework and you would go practice and whatever, like it was really fun for those reasons. I like really enjoyed that aspect. I think I really like thrive on like a school environment, which like brings back like some feelings about maybe going back to school. I don't know if I would want to do like a whole master's degree. Maybe. I don't know. Sounds kind of fun. Like I think I would really enjoy it, but I think for now I've decided that I want to do something like this. I don't know if I for now I've decided that I really want to take a course in something. So whether I go back to like acting class, or if I go take a class at a college, things that like my heart has been gravitating towards have been LGBTQ rights, reproductive rights, even just like society and pop culture in a way, like how it's all manifested into what it is today. Like I think a class on pop culture would be really cool, but like I think people think pop culture is more of like this very vain and unimportant facet of society, and I feel like it's so there's so much there that we get to tell about the time in which we like lived in. I feel like when we talk about a year, like we think about all the references that we were gravitating towards, or what people were doing, and what people were spending money on, and what people were consuming. I think all of that is so interesting to me, and thinking of like why people were relevant to other people, and why were certain stars like so uplifted and beloved. Like I think it's so interesting. So I think it runs deep. I also just like really miss learning about, or like even like, I don't know, art history class. Like those things are so interesting to me, or maybe even a politics class, to be honest. I've been really thinking about the election lately, and let me just start by saying that I am not like the most knowledgeable person in the political world. However, I do think that we are in a very critical time in our country, and as the election's approaching, I would really encourage everyone to do some research, and also especially just like try to vote early, because if you already know who you're voting for and you already know that you're going to vote for Kamala, I'm just gonna say it, I don't care, like it's not a fucking, I wouldn't want anyone to think that I'm otherwise. So if you already know you're going to vote for Kamala, I would vote early, or start your ballots now because they've already been sent out. Start that process. And as you move forward, start doing research on the smaller topics, and make sure that you're doing your research on your state and local officials. I feel like we're in such a specific time. I'm like going to cry. I just think that there's so many things that are affecting us that we like aren't fully like thinking about. And yes, this podcast is an incredible source of like fun and lightheartedness and, silly topics or whatever. Like I still want this to be like the place that we can talk about these kinds of things as well. I have really been listening to this one podcast called Made It Out. I think I've talked about it before, but if you're queer, if you're a lesbian, if you're bisexual, if you're a woman in the queer identity, this also applies to non-queer people. But this podcast is a podcast like made by lesbians, and they're doing this thing right now called To the Polls, where they discuss different topics that affect LGBTQ rights, and also just like people's rights. Our fucking democracy is at fucking stake. So, yeah, I encourage you to listen to things like that really help it become more digestible, the things that you're voting for, or understanding the political jargon. Like, specifically, this podcast works with a organization called LPAC. Their mission is to elect LGBTQ and non-binary people as elected officials. They help raise money for them in their campaigns and things like that. So they're having officials or candidates or people who work with LPAC speak upon these issues. And I just find it so much easier to like insert myself into those conversations because I like then get to know more about it. But I encourage you guys to like listen. I'm sure there's more resources out there, but LPAC is a really good resource that I've like found. I just think that there's so much at stake right now, and it's really fucking terrifying. There's so much hope. I think that a lot of people have so much to offer, and I think something that would really affect everyone who's probably listening to this podcast is our reproductive rights. I didn't understand how complex the issue was, and how close we are to a national ban. And I think like it's time that like, I think before like growing up, we kind of saw the election as like something that comes every year. There's a little bit of drama, whatever, like the country doesn't really change all that too much. But like it hasn't been that way for the last 3 years. The last 3 presidential elections. Like the last 3 have been extremely like different versions of life. And I just don't think that this certain group needs to continue to try to overthrow our democracy. It's terrifying. Anyway, I don't want to get too like political because it's not even like I don't know how to talk about it. I don't know enough to speak upon things. At least I'm not comfortable yet. Maybe in the upcoming episodes I will bring more things up. But vote early, guys. Make sure you're doing your research on your local officials. And yeah, I think it's weighing really heavy on me this year, or this time around. It did the last 2 years as well, but I think the last 2 elections. However, I do think that this one is even more, it's just heavier for me. To think that we're still, like, there's still people in our lives that would vote against our identities, against our bodies, people that we know, people that we love that would do these things. It's so mind-blowing to me. And it sucks. It really does. But anyway, I don't want to get too fucking sappy on this episode. I feel like this episode was so fucking random, and I don't even know what I talked about. I kind of just, whatever came to mind. But anyway, I bet you Sam's episode is going to be really good, and she's probably going to have a lot to talk about in terms of her beautiful trip that she took. Yeah, I don't know. Enjoy her episode. I hope you enjoyed this one. And if you guys want to comment, tell me about how you feel about any of the topics I talked about, movies that I talked about, the election, or I don't know, how are you doing? How's your job? I want to know those things. Please let me know. Anyway, if you guys enjoyed this episode, make sure that you guys subscribe to our YouTube channel, or if you're listening on a podcast platform like Spotify or Apple Podcasts, make sure you also follow those pages. And yeah, we post every Wednesday and Friday. But for now, that's it. From me anyway. I'll see you guys next week. Bye.